Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to my page, Open to the Universe, QHHT. My name is Jennifer Martinez, and I am a practitioner of QHHT. And this is my business, Open to the Universe, QHHT. I chose that name because with this technique, it really opens you to the universe. So I wanted to come on here today and talk about life lessons basically being repeated over and over. And you're wondering why. Why is this happening to me? Why do these things happen to me? Why am I having a repeat of situations that are not so easy? So that's basically what I want to talk about with QHHT. It will actually expose those very well to see why you're having um, situations, especially ones that are not comfortable over and over and over. So we have to go to work and we work with so many different people, different personalities, different everything, their life background, their belief system. And sometimes it's not so easy, not so flowing. We come into work or whatever our day is like, or whatever our night is like, whatever shift you have to work, and you're around different people always, which is wonderful. I think we are so attracted to, being around people, and not attracted like when you like someone physically, more of like, it's nice to interact with people. It really is. It gives you a different perspective in life. You never know who you click with. And then when you do click with them, it goes really smooth. But sometimes we get people in our life that maybe even we love so much, and things keep happening. So, really, I just wanted to talk about your state of mind. I wanted to talk about how you're taking these life lessons in. And because since they're repeating, we realize we haven't learned the lesson. So it keeps getting presented in front of us like a little like a lesson, like you're at school. It keeps getting presented to us, maybe in a different way, maybe in a different. You think everything is good, and then all of a sudden, something happens to create maybe that same lesson, but through that situation. So it's really interesting. It's interesting because when we're asleep, well, just in our normal everyday, we're just doing our thing. We're not really awake to see a bigger picture there. We're not really awake to see that this lesson is coming back to me because I haven't learned it yet. Or you could say, "Great universe, I've learned my lessons. I understand what you're saying." But guess what the universe loves to do? One more time, just to make sure you've actually learned it, because you said you learned it. So if you really learned that particular lesson, you'll know how to get through it one more time. You'll actually know how to get through it. And not in an aspect of maybe being outrageous and crazy and really stressing yourself out, more like a calm, a peaceful, a serenity, um, a surrender. You surrender type deal. And I know that's really hard for some of us. We have these personalities that are pretty much very much digging our feet into the dirt. No, I'm not going to just cave into this crap and blah, blah. You can use the negative aspect of it, but when you do, where does that lead you? You're exhausted, you're lonely, you're drained. So that's how you really have to notice it. You need to notice it in an aspect as, okay, if I surrender, what does that mean to me? Maybe I might cry. Maybe I might shake, just because it's got to get out of you, that pure heaviness, this other side of us that holds that negative part. And when you can understand there is this pull over you, and it's not so comfortable when it could be a negative way. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to feel good. And sure, we can have an attitude about it and say, I don't care. This is what I'm doing, and that's it. I'm sticking my, guns. I'm not going to cave in and be nice and loving and compassionate. I want to just be mean and tough, and I'm not learning this lesson. Nope, I'm stubborn. Guess what? You can do that all life long, the whole life, and you can come back and you can do it in your next life and your next life. But guess what? This earth is evolving. So that's why all of these light workers are starting to wake up to tell you guys, hey, soon enough, you won't be able to just come back here and work it out. This planet will keep evolving, as so will you. You can stick to your guns. You'll just have to go somewhere with a lower density. So you have to realize that if you look at things in a bigger picture, a bigger realizing that we're souls in these bodies, that we're here to learn and we're here to enjoy. I mean, Earth is absolutely beautiful. You can go anywhere on Earth, on the planet Earth, and find some really beautiful, gorgeous, just serenity places. And I live in one. Thank you, universe. I appreciate that. Um, but really just knowing that you don't have to learn everything in this life. You don't have to. You can be the way you are because essentially, it is your life and they are your lessons. But I think that you all should be also should be aware that there, is an easier approach to some of your life lessons and not so boggled by why is this happening to me versus, oh, I'm a mighty being in this body, but I don't remember it. Of course not, because I need the human experience. What's that? Human experience. What? You know? But that's just living. That's life. That's realizing that we're connected to the universe. We're also part of the earth, but we're also part of everything. And the human experience right now in this very moment in time is surviving, is working, is playing, is in love, is in hate, it is in abuse, and it is in serenity, compassion. So, sure, we have both sides, but what you're trying to aim for is this middle neutral spot. You're trying to not be on any side. It doesn't feel good to be pulled to the one side and be pulled to the next side because generally our natural state of being is love, is compassion, is neutral, is serenity, is beauty, is, I could just, magnificence. I have so many beautiful words for that, and when you really indulge in this, like, forgiveness to yourself almost, because we take these life lessons in so hard. We really are just taking them way too hard. We're just carrying these bags over our shoulder and it's weighing us down. It's aging us. It's making us sick. Do you have illness? Do you have body aches? Do you have pains? Do you have indigestion? Do you have headaches? Can you not see? Can you not speak? All those things, because our body is so magnificent. If we didn't hold on to all these emotions, right? So we come to planet Earth and we get free will. So we have free will. We can do what we want. We can be how we want to be. If we want to be outrageous, guess what? We can be outrageous. If we want to be hateful, guess what? We can be that. If we want to be magnificent and loving and compassionate, we can be that too. So that's the magnificent part of being a human. We have all these aspects. We have all these different stages in life. We can be a kid, teenager, young adult, middle-aged adult, an older adult, a senior. I mean, all these things. And sometimes we don't even make it. to those older realms as far as senior, middle age, older. Some of us were done by 20. Some of us were done by 50. It's just, and you go, wow, what is that about? We're so emotional here on this planet. We have the emotion. So we're like, whoa, why did that happen? Why? Versus, wow, all right. They lived that life and that was how they wanted to do it. And guess what? They're mighty beings. So no, there's no real loss. There's no real loss. They learned what they needed to in that body. And next is another stage of maybe another body that's more magnificent, maybe another life that's more outrageous. But I think mostly what I wanted you guys to know today is is being aware when things happen. So we live in symbols. Everything is symbols. We have symbols for everything. We live that way. We need symbols. That's on the other side. That's what it is. It's all symbols. And it holds so much information for that one symbol. So much. And that's why I think that we are so cool, because we know so much, but we don't give ourselves credit for it unless we've been to school, like college. Oh, I'm a valedictorian. And if you are, I honor you. Whoa, you nailed it. You are so incredible. I shout out to all those people. But if you're not, that's okay too. Um, what I'm saying is, if you're not, you still know so much. You still are well rounded when it comes to knowing. I think we just damper our, knowing part. We're like, I don't know that. I didn't go to college. Maybe you didn't know it in a particular way of them teaching you, but you're not missing out. You're not missing out. We're so successful. We made it this far in our journey of life. I mean, you really have to look at it like that. We're going into the future, period. 2022. I mean, it's no more in the future than it was 5 seconds ago. I just mean, like, we're really going, this is the future. We're going into the future even more. And as we do that, we need to lighten ourselves up. Lighten up. That's what it comes down to. It's saying, okay, what life lessons did you come to endure in this particular life, in this body? Who are your parents? Who are your family? Who are your neighbors? Who are your friends? When there's life lessons involved with all of those individuals in your life, and things keep getting repeated, I see it all the time. It's, how are you dealing with it? Are you outrageous and you're screaming and you're mad? Why? Why are you so mad? What really makes you that way, right? So that's when you then become aware of why. Why does that person make you outrageous? Why does that person make you mad? What is it showing you? Those are the things you need to become aware of and start asking yourself, because that's where you'll know that's where your life lesson is. Versus saying, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to deal with this? I don't want to deal with this. Blah. No, you don't have to deal with it. You can come back life after life after life, and maybe not even in particular same bodies, but that lesson's going to carry on with you regardless. And like I said at the beginning, you may not be able to come back to this beautiful earth. You may not. Because the thing is Earth is evolving and she's becoming more light, more light. And we need to evolve with her. Period. We need to evolve with her. And that's kind of our duty too, to stop being on either side. There's always, this is a planet of opposites. So there's always two sides, right? Always, always, no matter what, whatever situation is, there's always two sides. Everyone always says that, oh, you didn't hear my side. There's always two sides to the story, right? You hear it all the time. But why does it have to be like that? Why can't we be in the middle, neutral? Let's not be on sides. I think that's what we're trying to break, is to not be on anyone's side, left, right, whatever you're trying to say, right, wrong, but it's like on your side is what you're going with. And then you're like, what's my life lesson here? Why are they triggering me this way? Or um, you know, it's really that kind of situation because you don't always want to say yes, yes, yes. You didn't come into a world where you're always saying yes. I mean, if we all came in saying we all like the color yellow and we all came in saying we all like pizza and milk, we don't. We don't like we have differences. You might like blue, you might like green. I might like pink and I hate pizza. And I might like burgers and you might like enchiladas. But do we have to like the same things? No, we do not. No. That's where I think things need to get more noticed is that we are different. We are same. I mean, there's a lot of us that like the same stuff and we really love that when we find other people that have the same similarities to us. But we did not come into this world liking the same things. We have to realize that too. So you might like one thing and or another, and that person who you're always with might not like what you like. And that's okay. What's the lesson there? Why did you choose someone who could be so different than you? Do you know what I mean? So, those are beautiful things when you really look at it because you chose that person for a reason to be around you, regardless if it's your significant other, best friend, neighbor, whoever is your buddy, like that coworker. I mean, I've had lots of coworkers where it just didn't work out for our chemistry, and that I didn't really realize I didn't realize the synergy that is created, right? That gets created between you and the other person. And a situation keeps coming up and it could be in a different form, but somewhat of the same deal. And over and over, and you just kind of cowered away. Oh, I don't want to deal with it. Or it's outrageous and you fight. Oh, and then nothing gets resolved. And you're like, why is this happening to me? Why am I dealing with this? I don't want to, and I just don't want to. Right? We always do it. It happens to us, uh, and we go, how do we get through it? I don't like the way it is. I'm not forgiving. I'm not going to forgive that person. But you know what you're really saying is you're not forgiving yourself. When it comes down to it and you say these things out loud, oh, I don't like them. You don't like yourself? Oh, I'm not going to forgive them. No way, no way. You're not going to forgive yourself. Honestly, when it comes down to it, your life is so precious that you have to. You have to come to a point where you can say, you know what? I forgive myself first because you're so worthy of that. Because that releases the lesson and the baggage from you. It just does. You feel lighter. You see those people. They almost it's like a surrender. And when they do that, they feel lighter. They're more light, and you feel their good energy. And you're like, wow, what'd you do? And you look great today. And you're vibing. I can feel your vibe. You see people say that all the time. I do, at least. And that's where it comes from. They somehow shifted to forgiveness and they started to do self love because they loved themselves. They realized how much love they had for themselves that they forgave. That's so huge. I think we just carry so much burden and so much heaviness. People leave us as far as pass away, and we take that hard, or we get physically abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused. We have these abuse intact, right? So we're like, why is this happening to me? Why me? Right? We say this, it happens. We do say it. And we may not say it to others. We may say it by ourselves. We may cry in our hands and be like, why is this me? I love that person. How dare they leave me, right? That's the old earth. Remember, there is a new earth, new and old, right? It's our state of mind. They never left us. We're amazing. They're right there. They're in our hearts. Yeah, we can't physically see them, but we can feel them. I guarantee you, if you had anyone leave you, pass away, you can think of them right now and start crying. That's because they're right next to you. And they're like, hey, I'm here and I love you. And I'm pure positive energy and I'm going to shoot it right into you. And you're going to feel me and you're going to feel good today. And you're going to feel my love. That's where that's coming from. But you won't be aware of it if you're stuck in this little third dimension, old earth attitude. Oh, they're gone. I'm going to cry. I'm going to be miserable and I'm going to treat everyone horribly, right? Because that's what happens is we hold this negative and sadness in us. And then we go to work and we go to the grocery store and we go to the post office and we're miserable. People see that. People see it. It's because we're so transparent, honestly. We wear all of our emotions on our sleeve. It's just what we do. And I don't, I know people who are the toughest guys, and I see it. And they are really, if you took it all away, they're the sweetest guys. So it's like just the whole forgiveness, how much it really lets you learn that lesson. Guess what? If you have that true forgiveness for yourself and you learn that lesson, you're not going to have that lesson all the time. It's going to be gone and you're going to shift and you're going to start living your best life because you're going to feel healthy, mentally healthy, physically healthy. And if things come to you and it's that situation, you're going to be so humble about how to deal with it. That's why you see some of the seniors, they're able to explain that to a younger person because they finally made it to that point when they're a senior. But why not make it now? Why not make it while you're young? Why not? Why not be humble now when we're young and we're vibrant and we're able to really just love on each other, but mostly love on ourselves? The most important love, period, is self love. Because you start loving on yourself, golden. You start loving on yourself, you'll see a huge difference. You're going to see more love, more compassion. People are going to start going like, wow, you're amazing. I can see your light. I can, you're going to notice that. And when you start living your truth and your love and your life and really just live beautifully, what's your truth? What feels good to you? Choose things that feel good to you. Don't be on either side if you can prevent it. Don't be on either side. I think it just reels you in and makes you a different person too, as like an angry person if you're on either side because you're always trying to fight. Stop fighting. Surrender. What's the fighting really even for? Who are you really fighting? Yourself? That's what you have to become then aware of because we need to stop fighting. We need to stop. We're so much alike that we need to just start being more compassionate. And when we do that and you're compassionate to yourself, that's really it. When you're compassionate to yourself and you're loving on yourself, done deal, you're not going to have to endure all this other stuff. And honestly, that's where you'll stop these life lessons that are so ruthless. Because really, law of attraction, I'd love for you guys to read that. Law of attraction, you'll shift. And when you do that, law of attraction will shift with you. So good happens, good goes out into the universe. Guess what? Good comes back to you. Good comes from the universe back to you. You are the universe. You hold it all in you. They say that. I mean, look at your eyes. Like literally look deep into your eyes. Just do it. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever you have. Split second. I'll take anything. I'll take anything for you to do like that. And just really love yourself. Appreciate that you're in a body. Appreciate that you're on earth. If your situation isn't good, like a surrender to that. Switch it. You are a creator. You're incredible. You can do whatever you want, right? We say this all the time, right? You can do it. Just do it. And life is incredible, really, when you do that because you'll go into the new earth. You'll evolve with the planet Earth. And that feels good. How much of you can shift? How much of you can accept that? Can you accept a new belief system? Can you? I mean, I would love for you to try. I would love for you to create a new habit for yourself that always betters you because we deserve always to be better. Always. We deserve that. I think at the least we deserve that happiness, that like our lives matter, like just individually we matter, right? Because I think we all are yearning for that, somewhat, some way. And when we, just kind of surrender to life, knowing that there's life lessons, becoming aware why that life lesson came to you, ask the universe, why are you sending me this? Show me in a clearer picture. You really have to ask. Because when I've had my sessions with QHHT, that's what they always said to me on the other side. We can't help you unless you ask. And so it goes with the whole like Bible thing. It's like ask and you shall receive, knock and the door shall open. It's the same concept. It's the universal law of attraction. So if you ask your angels, we all have angels because they know when we come down here, we know before we come in a body that it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Some of us have lived lots and lots of lives where we can go into really nice, peaceful lives, and you see those people and you're like, wow, how did they figure it out? They've lived lots of lives to get there. And I know I have. And then you see people who just don't make it, who just cannot cut it. And I feel like they're just such brand new souls that it's not easy being human, period. It's not easy having a balance, eating right, loving yourself, going to work, actually going to a job you actually like. I think most of us work at miserable places. We just kind of like, this is what it is, and this is what I have to do. You don't have to do that. I just want you to know if you're not happy where you are and you're miserable, literally you deserve a job you at least can stand and like and love. And um, I know I've talked to people that would be like, oh, it's like that at every job, but it's not like that at every job. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, sometimes it's not. But that's where you have a gut instinct built in you. That's what you need to start listening and guided with that, because it's like your angels kind of, that's it, the way, because see, we have 7 chakras in our body and they're energy sources. So I'm sure people have heard about Reiki and chakras and energy. um, that's what they are. So you have your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your how did I forget the last one? My gosh. Anyway, I'm drawing a blank. But it's just like really, it's knowing that we're much more. That's the really cool part. You're not just this human being. You're so cool. And humans are cool. Yeah, we do crazy things. Yeah, you see crazy things. Limit yourself on that. Limit yourself. You don't have to watch the crazy stuff anymore. I feel like we just torture ourselves by just always watching the crazy stuff. And we don't need to do that. We don't need to pour in all that stuff into our minds. We're brilliant. Just focus on something you really, really like. What is your one thing you really like? Find it. We all have a gift. We do, no matter what, whatever it is. Mine's an observer. Every time I connect to the other side, it's always like, well, you just need to observe. And it's interesting how it all is. I get it. Life is interesting to begin with, but I think once you become aware and once you're not so indulged in the drama because you're done with it, you have to remember that that's just created for um, you to learn. And if you feel done with it, that's okay. You can be done with it. You have to say those things too. It's like, I've learned my lesson. I'm done with this. Finished. Thank you, universe. All finished. You really, really have to remember to say those things from your heart too. I think that that really, really matters because sure, you can scream it and yell it, but that's not good. Yeah, you don't want to do that. It creates negative, um, just negative ways. And that's what I think we need to really wake up to is that there is negative ways. And I know a lot of people are being, you know, are seeing negative, but honestly, day to day basis, we're we're all pretty decent. Most of us have had rough lives. We've had rough lives, and we hold it in, and we don't realize other people have had rough lives, and we carry it around like baggage. And it's okay. I just want you guys to know that I've been through it. I understand it completely. I've had a rough life where I have had lots of emotions and didn't know how to get through my emotions. Not at all. And we all have, not all of us, of course, but a lot of us have had rough lives to the point where it does mold us to who we are today. Um, come in thinking, okay, this life's going to be so fun, so cool. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to do that. And I know this because I am a practitioner of QHHT, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique, and it does take you under to the point where you are able to see that. I want to, so Jennifer Martinez, QHHT.com is my website. Check out DoloresCannon.com. She is the one who developed this technique. She's done it almost 50 years, so quite amazing. She wrote 19 books. It's incredible, breathtaking. These books will leave you just realizing there's so much more. So much more. Um, but really, I just want people to get through, even just waking up to that reality would make me so happy, more happy than anything. Um, because even if you just woke up in that very moment and you just had that little bit of awakening, that's it. It's like that right there shifts you that much. It shifts you literally that much. What would it be like if you forgave yourself? What would that feel like? What would it be like for you? I mean, literally ponder those kind of things if you have um, lots of emotions that are just the unsure, the sadness, the anything with fear based sadness, negative emotions. Try to figure out why, become aware and then get to the root of it. And if you can't, that's why you go find a practitioner, QHHT. Um, it will be the best decision you've ever done, especially if you have this calling for it. Because like I said, we come into the life, then all of a sudden, we're this little baby, a sweet, sweet little baby from heaven. We come down, and we can't do anything, right? We need someone to take care of us. And some of us are blessed with the sweetest family, but others aren't. Hatred, they already have their own issues. They're already, boggled by everything that's ever happened to them. So they're not stable when the baby comes. So then their beliefs go into you. And then all of a sudden you've got this whole new belief system, and you were like, when you first came in, you were planning to just have your own belief system of love and light and compassion, and that you'd be the one who changed and the one who forgave and the one who did it all. And, and it's not easy. I know that. It does take a while. It takes a while, but also it's a shift for you. It's a shift that happens inside, and that's the new earth that it shifts to, and it shifts to this positive, compassionate, loving, um, forgiveness, unity, because then you love yourself so much. You forgive yourself. You forgive yourself. I think right there is bigger than anything. If you can ask me for anything, forgiving yourself, literally looking at yourself in the eye, in the mirror, in your eyes, and really like loving on yourself, and really saying, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy, I am magnificent. Most people can't do that. Mm-mm. And if they say it, they don't say it from their heart. Or they'll say it and they'll contradict themselves. They'll say it and they'll be like, no. Because that happens. Because that's the ego side that doesn't want you to be happy. And most people are like, how do you do it? How do you do it? Well, you listen too much to the ego. And that's your everyday self. There's this beautiful side of you. But when you indulge too much of want, and why is this happening to me? And what about them? And they need to learn their lesson. But you don't have to worry about them, because, they'll get what they need to get when they need to get it. And you can only hope that they learn their lesson. You can only hope that they wake up, that they forgive themselves, that they love themselves. I mean, if you're so worried about them. But I always think that we're more worried about ourselves. This is why we should focus on ourselves a lot more. People look at it as like selfishness, but it's to a point of loving selfishness. And it's like, that's it. This is me, and I'm not doing that anymore. And I love myself. I forgive myself. And you can too. You can. I know it's so simple, and so it's so simple to a point, but it's not. I think that people couldn't just look at themselves in the eye and really love on themselves. And I think that's the glitch at this time. It's 2022, and we should be more involved as far as loving on ourselves, and less hatred, and less, sad and fear and darkness. I think we can overcome that by, and I think that that's where they try to pull us back, by the social media, by, just by all of it. Look at it. Just pay attention to the bigger picture. And when you do, it just reveals itself like a movie. It's kind of like surprising that it could reveal itself like that. And when you know that the darkness never could pull you in, that when people leave, they don't really leave. It's an illusion that it can be really hard for us because we're asleep. That's why I want to, if you're intrigued at all with QHHT, check me out, Jennifer Martinez, QHHT.com, or you can go to the official page, QHHT official page, official.com to get a practitioner in your area. But I feel like if you could get a session and really ask some amazing questions for your life so that you can then potentially forgive, let go, and continue your beautiful life. You deserve that. You do deserve that. I don't want anyone to say you don't deserve it, because you just deserve the best life you can live. You're in a body, you're here on planet Earth, you're here. So it's like, oh, hang on 1 second. I'm letting the dog in. Yes, he's a good one. Yeah, perfect. That's my pup. He's probably going to drink some water, and you'll probably hear him gulping. He loves to do that to say hi. um, so how precious is your life? You know what I'm saying? No one has control over your life. You do. Take back control. That's my biggest message, is take back control of your life. You make decisions for yourself. Period. It's your life. You're here for a reason. You're here for love. You're here for compassion. You're here to make a change. You're here to let go of the baggage of emotions. You're here to have life lessons that you can learn from. And if you don't understand that lesson, say it out loud. I don't understand this lesson. I need you on the other side. We have angels. I need you to make it a clearer lesson for me. I'm not understanding it. We have those things that happen to us where we're just so fogged down, and we're just, we fill our brain up with TV, and we fill it up with movies and social media and our daily lives and working and school, and we fill it up with all these other things, which can be so much for us, which puts us in this fight or flight mode where you're always got to rush, you're always got to go, you have to hurry. But really, you don't have to. I think that's what I really want you guys to know, is it doesn't have to be that way. It needs to be a balance where you're not so frazzled. It needs to be a balance where if you do have that way, you need to have someone who's more compassionate. That way, when you come home or whatever the situation is, or if you go to work or whatever it is, where you have that compassionate person, you need that. You understand why that person's in your life. It brings you back to your natural state of being, your state of wellness, the peaceful part of you, the happy part of you. And when we have that, and we get to endure that, and if you don't have that, that's why I say get out there and start loving on yourself, because when you do that and you get out there, you'll attract those kind of people to you. You'll attract the people who are compassionate, who are loving, who aren't going to argue with you, who might just say, hey, this is how you could look at it. You don't want people to tell you what to do. If people say, hey, look at it this way, that's when they're there for your better interest. It's the people who are saying, no, you got to do it just like this. Don't do that, because there is no just like this. You have to do it the way you need to do it. And when you can shift to the way that works for you, and that's just seeing it differently, shift. That's it. It's more because, see, we get this weirdness if someone tries to make us do something. We hate it. We kind of do a little resistance. a little like, no, I'm rebellious and I'm not going to do it like that because that's not my way. Of course, it's not your way. And that's what I'm saying is like, if you have someone ever say, no, it has to be this way, no, no, don't, don't do that. Don't listen to those people because it's different for all of us. And really what you're looking for people who are compassionate and loving are people who are going to just say, hey, this is a situation. You can look at it like this, more compassionate. You don't have to do it like that. It's just the way it worked for me. And you can take your little nuggets out of there. You can take your little whatever sounds really good to you to make it work for you, right? Because you don't need to be listening to anyone. You need to be listening to this spiritual side of you that will align you to the best you. And that's why when I come on here, I don't like to tell people what to do. I don't want you to even change. You are amazing the way you are. Really. You came here the way you are. That's wonderful. You should be you. You should be you. And I wouldn't want you to change who you are. I would just want you to shift the way you look or become aware of these life lessons in the very moment. Oh, wow, I'm hot and I'm heated. I'm mad. Didn't that girl just say I should be aware? Right. It's like a pause. It's like, whoa, why am I so hot and heated? Why did that person get me so bad? Right? It happens to us. We just get really out of it. And then you can really look at then what is triggering you. And if you don't know, if you still aren't sure, and that's okay too, if you're still unsure, have a session. Have a session with QHHT. Just find a practitioner in your area. So you can always go to DoloresCannonsPage.com and find a practitioner in your area. I would love to do a session on you. That would be so cool. So if ever you want a session, go to my website, JenniferMartinezQHHT.com, and book a session. Just anything that would hook you up. Because essentially, that's what I think we need to be more excited about is our life. We need to be more excited for it. We're just so not. We're so like, oh, the government's against us. Everyone's against us. I have to work and I have to do it like this. And it's a cutthroat world and da da da. No, that's the old way. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's the old way to be. It's the old earth. It's literally the old earth. And I'm trying to show you guys that there is a new earth, a new way, a new peaceful mind. And you have to get there, right? You have to get to that point. So that's all I'm saying is there's this loving earth, this compassionate side, this evolving side, where there's angels and there's the whole galactical federation on the other side that's basically waiting to blend with us. And that's amazing. It really is. So it's like when you can live your best life in this body, that's all I'm saying. Don't change. Don't. I know what I was going to say is judge yourself to others because you are who you are meant to be. Because we do that so much. We do that way too much. Oh, that person's got that and she's that way. And don't. You're amazing. You really are. And you have to enhance that, and be that compassionate person. I don't think we realize what we hold. I always worked at a desk job and just customer service and bank. And, I worked at the bank forever. And I didn't even know I was even capable of this life. The life I'm in, obviously, but this meaning like quantum healing hypnosis technique and Reiki and the universe. And I didn't know any of that, let alone me being someone who can actually be a practitioner. I think right there was my big thing because I didn't realize I could do it. I did not realize that. I was so asleep. I was always trying to be neutral at work. Even when things would happen, it would bug me. But what was happening to me was I was absorbing other people's emotions, thoughts. I could feel them. I could feel them. I didn't really know whose thoughts they were. I thought they were mine. But now that I look back, I realize those aren't my thoughts or my feelings. Um, I was generally a pretty happy person. At least that's what I thought. I had my family and I was just doing my thing. Um, but, you know, when I shifted and I'm here now and doing this, I realized, holy moly, I'm in the new earth. I'm living my best life because because I forgave myself. And that right there is super powerful. I love myself. Sure, I have to work on it every day. Sure, I do. Of course, as we do, as you wouldn't just stop exercising if you wanted those abs, right? You would exercise until you got them, and then you would exercise to keep them, right? You wouldn't just stop. So it's the same way. It's the same kind of exercise. I really want to be spiritual. I really want to be loving. I want to be compassionate. I want to be a well, diverse human. I want to open my mind to everything possible that is good. I want to open my mind to the universe. I want to be that amazing, mighty being that's inside me through my body, And so that's how you have to look at life and really love on life like that. You need love on it instead of a hate thing of like, oh, we just got to get through it, right? We live and then we die. Of course we do. That's okay. We don't want to be here forever in the one body, but we come back. I know that might freak you out thinking you might come back. That that takes a lot of your mind to be okay with the fact that your soul is eternal and it lives more than once. It lives so many times. It does not stop. It's solid. Your soul is solid. It doesn't just disintegrate. None of that. No, 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 no. Yep, we are very, very cool. Anyway, I love our talk today. It is so cool. I love talking about the universe. I love talking about quantum healing hypnosis technique. I mean, literally, this technique is the coolest technique you will ever come across. It is the most amazing, most powerful tool that could access the all knowing part of yourself. You want to know why you're sick? You want to know why you have body aches? You want to know why you have repeated patterns in your life? That's what it's going to help. It's going to give you the answer to it. It's not going to show you anything you don't want to see. It's going to show you everything you need to see. Have the experience. Check it out. I just want you guys to know that you're amazing. Keep your chin up. You got this. Life is easy. Life is not cutthroat. If it is where you live, then don't live there. Think about that. They don't need, you don't need that energy. You don't need that. Your life is very precious. Very precious. Your body is very precious. Your feelings are. And when we start caring that way, that's when you'll know you're in the new earth. That's when you'll know. Everyone's like, oh, how do I get there? Listen. I'll suggest things. I'll have you look at things differently. That's how you get there. Choose things you like. Find people that uplift you. If someone's not uplifting you, don't listen to them. So be very cautious of that. Be very aware. If you're getting positive, 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 that's so cool. Keep going that way. Don't go with the negative. I know so many of us are indulged in the negative, but really that's the ego mind that likes to keep you in the dark. So pay attention to that too. Whoa, I'm over here in the dark just staring at social media for hours. That's not good. You're so mighty. You're so amazing. You came here to planet Earth to just do that? Maybe, but most likely not. Most likely not. Go to the ocean, go to the mountains, go to the forest, like literally explore the planet. Whatever it is, go on vacation. Even if you just go down the street to a park, I mean, enjoy Mother Nature, the planet. Touch a leaf, smell a rose or flower. Yeah, those are simple, but it reconnects you to your normal, natural self. I think everyone's personalities are such a beautiful way of being on earth because we find the little glitches in us by those people. They trigger these little things, and we're like, oh, okay, there's a life lesson. Right. And then we're like, okay, we learned it, universe. We don't need any more of that particular life lesson, right? The universe is like, okay, let's try one more time just to make sure you've learned it. Let's see how well you get through that, right? And then you're like, oh my goodness, this has happened again, and I thought I was done with it. That's why. They just wanted to see if you can get through it one more time, actually getting through it the way you said. Hey, if you're humble, if you're serenity, compassionate, you will get through it with an open heart. But you won't get through it if you're lying to yourself. If you're lying to yourself, right? I think that's the biggest that we have to be aware of, because you'll see people who are like, oh, well, that didn't work for me. Right there, your mind is negative. Right there, just by you saying it didn't work for me. That means it was already in there. That belief system, those words were already in you. That blocked it, that contradicted that. So that's what I'm wanting you guys to pay attention to become aware of. And when you do that and you laugh more and you have really joyful people around you and you're joyful, that's the ticket. That's the deal. I think we all yearn for that. That's what we want, right? And some of us are in situations where we can't be like that. But I feel like you can switch any situation you ever want. People say that they don't really have choices in those situations, but I feel like you then block it so you wouldn't have choices. You can make a choice if you want. It's what one do you want? I feel like if you're brave enough, are you brave enough for yourself? Right? Are you brave enough for yourself? Can you get out of a situation you don't like? You're worthy of it. You're worthy. But it's always, that's not what's in question, your worthiness. It's always, how do you feel now? That's always what's in question. How do you feel now? How do you feel now? And I've said it before, it's like every situation. How do you feel in that situation? Become aware. Don't let it hold on to you. Get through that emotion. And when you do, those emotions slowly, or situations slowly stop happening. You then learned your lesson. And you're not wondering why. Isn't that so amazing when you really do it? And that's what I really, really hope for you. Always keep hope in your heart. Even a sliver of hope will be better than none. Hope is so important. Hope and faith. I just don't think most people think that that stuff's really real, and it's so real. Hope and faith. Oh, we're so blessed to have that. And when you really have hope and faith, and you really have strong feelings for those, they're there for you. That's why they're there for you. We need some kind of emotion that's on our side. Awesome. Well, I love everybody out there, and that's just how I am. I just have that much love for the world, for every human, good or bad, because honestly, we all came into this earth good. When I do Dolores's work, I realize that, but we've got consumed into the bad. We let it plaster us. The murderers, the ones in jail, the low vibe people. And we're like, why are they here? I know. It's a planet of opposites. So there's really, really good and there's really, really bad. And that's my other thing. It's like, that's why I'm suggesting that you see the neutral part of it so we can break that. We don't need the negative anymore. We don't need the bad. There's so much mental illness. There's so many things that we are consuming the wrong way. Because then when you look at their lives, when you look at those people's lives, they got the short end of the stick. They had a mom who didn't love them, maybe not even there. A dad who didn't love them, maybe not even there. Maybe they got raised by people who did not love them, beat them, whatever the case is. Whatever the case is that made them the way that they are. And then they grew up and they just had so much hatred that they could take someone's life. And it just, in your mind isn't fair, isn't right. And that's a life lesson. That's the hard stuff. I mean, it's like college on earth. It's not going to be easy. Right? It's not. But we can get through those things. We can make it easier. We really can. And I'm a compassionate person that I believe with hope and faith that we can get through that. We can clear this glitch up during this time. We can unite. Because essentially we all just want to be here. We do. I see it all the time. I go to the stores, I drive around, I go to different states. Everyone's just living on their lives. They really are. They're just living on their lives. They're doing vacations. They're going to work. They're enjoying their kids. They're enjoying the summer. They're enjoying the winter. They're enjoying the fall. Whatever the season is, whatever the atmosphere is. Just remember to not be so hard on yourself and to know that you're a creature of habit and that you would have to create new habits to have new ways and to see the new earth. Explore, find a beautiful place to live, something that where you can look out every day and feel blessed to be there. Remember that, it's like some of us just can't and are not capable of living in the cities. Oh, they're great. Some of those cities are magnificent, but could I live there all the time? No. It's fun to visit. But for me, I absorb people's energy, and it can be a lot for me to be in the big cities around lots of people. I love people. And I just want to say thank you guys for downloading my podcasts. I appreciate you guys so much for even caring enough to listen to me. I mean, my heart's so big that it feels so good to be a regular person. I'm so thankful to be a regular person. Couldn't imagine being famous. That would be horrible. Those people either get addicted to drugs, addicted to drinking. You read their stories, they're tragic, they're sad, they're on top of the world, but they're empty. They're empty inside. Because you know what? The people that got them there to the top of the world stripped everything from them. And that's the truth of that. I see it, I read those stories, and I'm like, who got you there? Who got you there? Who gave you all that money? Who gave you the top position? There are these secret wealthy people who get those movie stars to the top. There are those, you don't know them. It's behind the scenes. You will never see their face. Those are the people who stripped you down. Every emotion, gave you the drugs, gave you, I've read and seen stories, and it just makes me realize that I'm so thankful to be a regular person. And that's what I want you guys to be, so thankful that you're just free. You're just a regular person. You're free. You don't have paparazzi in your face. You don't have to worry about what you wear every day. You don't have to do all that. I mean, it's nice to look good and, and worry about your clothes or whatever. But I mean, like, famous wise. Those people have it. I mean, sure, they have the fancy stuff, but what is that? Regular people can't have all that stuff too anymore. I mean, we have the fancy cars and the fancy houses, and we're just regular people, right? We can go to the nice vacations and come right back home and not have anyone in our face like that. I always think those people are really asking for it. They really wanted some life lessons. Anyway. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to my podcast. I really appreciate it. I have so much love for you guys. If you ever have questions or anything like that, you can always go to my website and email me. So www.jennifermartinezqhht.com, and it's just JenniferMartinezQHHT.com. Awesome. Lots of love to you guys. I know I haven't been on here very much. Summer is always a handful for me. Busy. And if you ever want to check out Yellowstone National Park, we are open, and I could always do a session for you. So lots of love. Thanks so much for coming to my podcast. And have a great day, guys. Take care.